So I've been in the industry for over 25 years, and I love this industry. I'm passionate about it. And so what my firm does is it's a PR firm, a public relations company, iMiller Public Relations, or I like to say iMPR. And what public relations is that message. It's the content and the amplification of that message and content in the market, and leveraging relationships and partnerships and all types of information to help tell stories and inspire and educate. The platforms for amplification are everything from social media to articles and publications, digital magazines, conferences and events like at the Infrastructure Summit.
Because you work with various organizations within the space, what have you seen and what are your thoughts about the industry moving forward when it comes to skill shortage?
So I agree, there's a big problem. And the problem that we have with the skill shortage is not like any problem I think we have seen before. Because we are in this industry that we have developed and nurtured and expanded to what it is today and continue to expand and build this future of this digital future. The issue we have is that many people who have done this are taking that intellectual property, the knowledge, the know-how of what they've done, and they're retiring or leaving the industry, right, because they get older and choosing to do different things with their time. But we have not yet created a detailed documentation or a training guide or programs that provide people to understand the baseline of the industry and the history, because understanding history and the evolution of an industry helps you to advance it at a much faster pace. Otherwise, you're just going to, recreate the wheel, so to speak, right? You're going to, think that you have a new solution when it's an old solution applied differently. And so I do think that we have some big issues.
Absolutely, and it's actually really difficult to enter the industry, and a lot of companies right now that we're talking to are looking to create internship programs for the younger generations coming in, so I think this is really exciting. In terms of the recommendations for the companies when it comes to their skills, and obviously from a PR perspective, we've noticed that not a lot of companies are kind of leading with that message, even though the crises are real and many companies are struggling with the skill shortage. Not a lot of companies actually are vocal about those challenges. Why do you think is that, and what suggestions would you have for them with that subject?
I might not get a lot of fans from my response, so I apologize in advance, but I think, and this goes back to the discussion of diversity and inclusion, I think that companies want to hire what they know and what they're comfortable with, even though the requirements are suggesting and even, requiring different type of hiring practices, a certain percentage of diverse type of folks, or you can't age discriminate and all that stuff. And so I think part of the problem is trying to figure out a way to hire what they're comfortable with so that they can comply with the requirements but not necessarily compromise, what they're doing. I don't necessarily agree with that. I do think that we all can do better being challenged, having different perspectives. I also think that there is a problem with the way that, at least in America, the way that we've shifted in how we train younger people, how we educate them, right, in the educational system. For example, one of the big changes, right, I was raised in the 70s, and in the 70s, it was always Mrs. this person or Mr. that person, right? You would call it, it was a respect factor for the elders. Now, it's, the first name. And that kind of respect is not quite understood, right, as an innate sense of self. And so when they get into the business world, they don't understand, right, the hierarchy of how the structure works and respecting that. And even if they do, most of them don't care anyway. And so how do you hire knowing that there's a different approach, a different mindset brought in by a different generation, and how do you work with that rather than against it And I have to say that's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of hard thinking.
Mhm.
And even though it's not core to a business, right? It's not your product or
Right.
service. It is core to your business because you need really good workers, skilled people, smart people to operate your business. So I don't think that there's a understanding or appreciation of the importance of that, which is why they don't lead with that.
Agreed, and I mean another interesting element is initially, as you know, I spent 20 years in as an operator. The bias exists there. Like even if the companies do end up recruiting the diverse personnel, the opportunities for growth and development are very limited. So we're hoping to even up the playing field where it's data-driven, factual, transparent approach to the skills and certification you have, and it's easier to progress and develop your career, which I think would make a huge difference in our industry.
Right,
Hopefully
right.
we'll see more diverse personnel as we move forward.
And I will make a future prediction if we do succeed in that direction. And my future prediction will be that psychologists will give us the clues of how females and males use words and terminology so that those who are smart enough to understand things will immediately know because people want to know, right? Withholding information just means that they're going to find another way around it. And so my prediction for the future is psychology is going to be the win.
This is absolutely amazing, and it's such a pleasure to be
Thank you.
here in the same event with you.